split. These people are sick. That's child abuse, no doubt. If you missed a segment or an hour, get the podcast Armstrong and Getty on demand.
Armstrong and Getty.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. In-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partner...
It doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried the new Factor 3-week quick start kit. It's only $19.95 and comes with our Feel Better or Your Money Back guarantee. Want you taxed to the brim, under the thumb of the IRS, and controlled with efficient dollars. That's why thousands of hardworking, patriotic Americans are opting out by diversifying their savings with precious metals like gold and silver. And guess what? Sean Hannity is doing the same. He's been purchasing precious metals like gold and silver from the top-rated company, Goldco. Goldco is the 7-time Inc. 5000 winner, #1 rated gold IRA company with over 5,000 5-star reviews. And they've placed over $2 billion in precious metal sales for people just like you. Right now, they're offering up to $10,000 in bonus silver while supplies last. That's right, up to $10,000 in bonus silver, but only while supplies last. So if you're looking to diversify your savings, call Goldco at 855-815-GOLD to learn how you can get started today. Tell them Hannity sent you and see if you qualify for up to $10,000 in bonus silver. Call Goldco, 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD. Portions of the following program will be recorded. Traffic and weather together. And today's top news. Power Talk 1360, KFIV, Modesto, Stockton, and beyond.
A high-stakes meeting at the White House. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden sitting down with the top 4 congressional leaders in Oval Office meeting, focusing in part on avoiding a partial government shutdown this Friday. The president saying moments ago,
shutdown damaged the economy significantly, and I think we all agree to that, and we need bipartisan solutions.
he's also been urging final passage of a foreign aid package, including funding for Ukraine. House Republicans have been pushing for tougher border security proposals than the bipartisan plan removed from that Senate-passed package. This meeting just 2 days before the president visits the southern border.
The Border Control Council president says Biden is going to the border now solely to try to save himself. And support is tough from progressives as well, who don't think the executive order he discussed, restricting asylum claims between ports of entry, are really going to work.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. President and former President Trump will be in different parts of Texas on the same day, Thursday. Their campaigns are focusing today on Michigan, where it's the primary day. The State Department out with a new urgent travel warning for spring breakers as violent crime in Mexico spreads to popular destinations, including Cancun.
In the last 2 weeks alone, one California woman was killed in crossfire near the Tulum beach as warring cartels there are fighting for dominance of the area. As many as 4 Mexican cartels right now are fighting over about an 80-mile strip of resorts. Drug lords are looking now to open up new drug corridors and tap into millions of dollars of tourism revenue. Experts say that the cartels see American tourists in 1 of 2 ways there, as potential customers or potential victims.
Fox's Dillian Turner at the State Department. Spring break travelers who do go to Mexico are being urged not to travel between cities at night, not to travel alone, and not to hail cabs on city streets. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, Power Talk 1360 traffic, morning and afternoon, from the KFIV Traffic Center. Traffic into Ribbon, but nothing like it had been earlier. Northbound 99 now beginning to slow down around Jackson Road up over Dawson Road. Yeah, that's more sluggish than anything. No trouble now to Manteca. Right now we're at the limit on 120 now heading into Lathrop. Still messed up though through Tracy, 205 backed up to Grapevine Road. For the Valley's most frequent traffic report in the 1360 AM KFIV. Real news in real time. Here's your Power Talk 1360 News Update. California Governor Gavin Newsom is facing another recall attempt. You can look on this report.
Conservative activists with the group Rescue California serving Newsom's office with the official recall papers Monday. Campaign director Ann Hines says the governor is spending too much time in the national political sphere rather than focusing on the issues facing California and its voters.
He is now campaigning for himself to be president, vice president. He's spending a lot of time out of the state, and we need him to do his job here, or he needs to resign.
The group needs just over 1.3 million verified signatures by May in order to qualify for the November ballot. Newsom had a prior recall in 2021. So far, no comment from his office.
The city of San Diego says road repairs are underway and there are some closures for work on the recycled water project. Jack Cronin has the report. A series of 54 roads being repaired in Mexican Hills, Dorado, and Camino Valley through March. We pulled this online with the elected streets. The city says the road work is complete, including repairs and upgrades to include other types of transportation. In addition, work is now underway on a major pipeline for the future pure water recycling system. The Marina neighborhood, intersection of Marina Boulevard and Third Street will be closed at night between this Thursday and March 25th. And today is National Polar Bear Day. Free tennis with a glimpse into the threatened species that look cute and cuddly, but they're not.
The World Wildlife Fund says polar bears are threatened by climate change. The snow is melting, and their meal of choice, seals, dwindling. There are about 2,200 sea bears left in the wild. That's not a lot. A polar bear's life is simple: sleep, hunt, and play. And although they look cuddly, they're among the most ferocious land predators on Earth, at the top of the food chain.
That's the latest. I'm John Spink in the iHeartRadio newsroom. Depending on sounding traffic reports all day long. Our top 13 traffic. Nothing you know about Rachel from TV is inauthentic. It's all real, which is kind of funny because I remember, I don't know about you, you're a little old, Stephen. I remember growing up with Rachel. What do you mean? Like you guys were neighbors? No, we weren't neighbors at all. When I was a kid, before MTV went crazy and became totally woke, I mean, it was always kind of on, you know, it was always a little bit to the left. But when you're a kid, I wasn't really paying attention to politics that much. I just liked tunes. They had a show called The Real World, and Rachel was on it. She was on The Real World in San Francisco, the famous pub Pedro. So I watched her on TV, and we became friends later on. Both of our families go out a lot. And she's a really great person. I don't bring that up to be a silly, dopey name dropper. Who really cares? I'm bringing it up to tell you that she's the real deal. That's not some shtick. You know, she works at Fox, and, you know, a lot of times there's a lot of pressure when you work for organizations anywhere to kind of toe a line, and she doesn't do it. She will go out there and do actual reporting on stuff. So I'm watching her yesterday on Fox and Friends, and I wanted to get to it yesterday with the news cycle yesterday. It was intense, so I didn't have the time. I wanted to give it some time to breathe. And I'm watching her do some reporting from what appears to be a government stash house for illegal immigrants being funded by the government through NGOs, non-governmental organizations. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, after doing yesterday's show about the blob being
the deep state NGO symbiote that's destroying America. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, head to toe, your entire government is completely corrupted. It's not just that. It's not just that they don't like you. It's not misfeasance. I use these terms a lot because it's important to understand the distinction, both ethical and legal, between misfeasance and malfeasance. You know, misfeasance would be something like, you know, the government's really trying to help, so they build a homeless shelter, and the shelter's built poorly and it collapses. That's horrible, and there's going to be some liability, and it's a tragedy, but ultimately, in the end, they were trying to do the right thing. That's not the government, okay? But put that to bed. That is not the G. The government is in pretty much every sphere it involves. It's filthy tentacles in. The government is involved in malfeasance. Malfeasance, meaning it's intentionally trying to cause harm. It would be the equivalent of the government going into a homeless shelter that's working, burning the place down, and making everyone homeless again. The government is sabotage your life, your future, your business. They are actively putting you in danger. Jim's shaking his head in approval here because he knows what I'm saying is true. It's not just that the government is screwing stuff up. Oh, you know, they tried to do Obamacare, and they really had they did not have good intention. Oh, the public schools are trying. They're not trying. The liberals funding them have zero interest in your kids' education. Liberals suck. They are trying to hurt you. Oh, they're just, you know, trying to make the tax code more fair. They don't care about fairness. If they did, they wouldn't give carve-outs to all their liberal big business buddies. Please cut the crap. Please stop. Liberals hate you, and your government hates you too. Seems like they're a little like, hey, welcome, it's Tuesday. You're just gonna fire out. Yes, that's right. It's it. There's no like, let's go a couple exits before we get motoring on the highway here on this show. We just get right on to the thing. Okay. We're in gear 6 in the van right away. Now listen, I'm long on the United States, and I am an optimist because we've been in far worse places before, and I'm absolutely convinced that although things may not be bad enough this second, they are most certainly getting there. There's about to be a sea change. I'm going to measure where we are by what happens in New York in the 2024 election. Don't get ahead of me here. I'm not suggesting Donald Trump is going to win New York. I mean, if he did, that would be a seismic shift in politics like you've never seen. If there was a probability, I'm going to measure how far along we are on the is it bad enough scale that things are going to change and liberals will vote different. I'm going to measure it by how close Donald Trump comes in New York. If Donald Trump loses 60-40 by 20 points, even if he wins, we're still not there yet, where people are starting to see how much their government hates. And for those listening again who think this stuff never happened, you know, I can't emphasize to you again in strong enough terms that no, it does happen. There are massive sea changes in U.S. politics. I've lived through them in my lifetime. Giuliani in New York City, Ronald Reagan, 2 landslides in 1980 and 1984. So don't tell me that people don't wake up. They do wake up. It's happened twice in my lifetime. I'm only 49. I'm not that old. Are we there yet where people are waking up Clockwork Orange style? You know, little thingies in the eyeballs? No, I don't think so. But I know we're getting down that road. Because you can't continue this level of malfeasance, not misfeasance, where the government screws every single thing it does up intentionally and hurts people in border towns, in big cities, spies on them, throwing political opponents in jail, locking up a source on Joe Biden because they don't like the fact that he's about to air the dirty laundry. You can't keep doing this without incremental numbers of people every day waking up and looking at this going, oh, it's not everybody's dumb, okay? I mean, liberals suck, and they are genuinely stupid, but there is a large... It's true, you know it's true. The Democrat Party does have some sane people. It does. I I know when you run for office and you go out and knock on doors, not in a primary, you want to obviously knock on doors for Republicans in a primary, but in the general, especially in a place like Maryland, deep blue state, you wind up talking to a lot of Democrats. I knocked on doors. The Senate campaign, I think I knocked on 3,000, 4,000. The Horse Special campaign, I knocked on 5,500. You talk to a lot of people. There are a lot of what I would call soft Democrats who are not dumb. They may be pro-aborts, they may be anti-Second Amendment types, but they're not one-issue voters on those things, and they care about their kids. And a lot of these people will never change their position on killing babies and taking your guns away, but they understand that their kids' future matters, and this isn't the way. I mean, I can make a case to you folks that I lived through it 3 times, not just 2. The Reagan Revolution, Giuliani in New York, and although I can't stand that guy, they almost biggest phony I've ever met. But Larry Hogan in Maryland, he did won twice as a Republican in Maryland. When I'm here to tell you every single consultant in Maryland, I can tell you the names. Orange Sky, everybody used to use. They would, don't run for governor, nobody's ever going to. He won twice. People eventually do wake up when things get better. Jim, cue up for me, cut 1. You can't tell me that same people, again, forget the libs. The libs are just dunces, and this is never going to register because they love the chaos. The destruction of the United States is the goal, you understand? For the same Democrats out there, Rachel Compost-Duffy, going back to where we started, goes out to a border town. She finds what looks to be a stash house for illegal immigrants, criminals. They broke the law, came into the country illegally. They should be deported. Not only are they not being deported, they're being put up in this hotel. They take down all the signage from the hotel. This is your government paying for this, hiding this from you. Who pays for it? Where does the government get money from? Oh, yes, you. That's right, you. Yeah, Jim's raising his hand. They steal our money, the government. They confiscate it through confiscatory taxes. They take it, and now you may have trouble paying your rent, but the illegal immigrants who came into the country and broke the law, they have no trouble paying for their rent because they don't pay for it. You do. Watch what happens when Rachel goes in there, or listen in this case. You want to watch the video, you can check out the podcast. As she starts demanding answers from what appears to be a government-funded through non-governmental organization hiding spot for illegal immigrants. Check this out.
What you're seeing is basically an unmarked building. All signage is removed. That's the first sign you know that this is an NGO, non-governmental organization, in this case, Casa Alita, who is housing illegal immigrants. Let's go inside, see what happens. Try to rent your room?
Oh, no, we don't have room.
Why? Is this not...
We don't stay there, get off the property.
Is this not a hotel?
Can you please exit the property to my house?
Whose private property? There's no name outside?
Can you please have my license?
What's the problem? But is this where illegals are being housed with government funding?
Can you please get off our property? All of this, please, I'm not call the police.
This is insane. You're paying for it. You understand you're paying for this. Now, why am I doing this show today? I'm doing it because, ladies and gentlemen, friends, this is a national segment. Yesterday's show dive on what the blob, State Department, Pentagon, CIA, non-governmental organizations, foreign intelligence, the blob. It's characterized sometimes deep state. We don't even need to get that sophisticated about it because they're not all state actors. I prefer the blob because that's what it is. It's this amorphous blob of people who all benefit from their friends being in power. It's that simple. None of these people are particularly sophisticated or smart. You know, we tend to attribute them to, cigar-smoking guys in X-Files episodes. I'm telling you, having worked in the government, the majority of people working to compromise you, compromise your safety and your future and destroy the United States are legitimate morons. If there's one takeaway you get from this show at all, I really genuinely hope it's that. These people are really stupid. They are not geniuses. They're not plotting some big government world takeover in a sophisticated manner. They're basically trying to get paid off their friends being in power in government. It's really that simple. The world takeover they're plotting begins and ends around how they get paid. They're all job in.